I hate to break it to you, it probably won't be your favorite team that takes home the 2025 Super Bowl.
What's the anticipation for the season?
Oh, 16-0, 17-0. Okay? Bryce is the guy.
Luke, you're going to find that many of the truths we cling to depend greatly on our own point of view.
We aren't here to tell you who will take home the crown, but rather one reason why every team, your favorite one included, won't be the last man standing come February. Arizona Cardinals, Kyler Murray. To win a Super Bowl, you need to have a franchise quarterback. And to be a franchise quarterback, you have to not just possess the rare physical skill set, but also be a top-notch leader and have the work ethic to match. And well, let's just say that it looks like a pretty safe conclusion that Kyler Murray comes up short in two of those categories. And subsequently, the Cards don't have a legitimate shot at actually taking home Super Bowl glory. Atlanta Falcons, quarterback controversy. Bringing in Kirk Cousins as the solution to their quarterback problem was a crazy enough solution to begin with. But then, Atlanta decided to throw gasoline onto the fire by drafting Michael Penix Jr. If Kirk doesn't get off to a good start in hot Atlanta, this whole thing could come apart at the seams in a hurry. Baltimore Ravens, Lamar Jackson chokes in the playoffs. Don't get us wrong, Lamar Jackson is a great quarterback, no two ways about it. Unfortunately though, he has not been able to fully exercise his postseason demons. And until he can learn to raise his level come playoff time, the Ravens will not win a Super Bowl. Buffalo Bills, Sean McDermott can't win the big one. Sean McDermott did a great job of shifting the culture in Buffalo. But the reality is that changing the culture and actually winning a Super Bowl requires different skill sets from a head coach, and, well, based on the way he's called a few of the Bills' most recent postseason games, I think it begs a question if McDermott is really cut out for the latter. Carolina Panthers, David Tepper. At this point, it isn't entirely clear how he's going to do it, because based frankly just on his track record, it could be anything. But when push comes to shove, David Tepper is going to find a way to get in the way of success on the field for Carolina. With him at the helm operating the way he has thus far, the Panthers are among the furthest from winning a Super Bowl in the entire league. Chicago Bears, rookie quarterback. Chicago should be very excited about drafting Caleb Williams, but the reality is that no rookie quarterback has ever started and won a Super Bowl in the 57 years of the game's existence. So based on that, smart money says that the Bears come up short. Cincinnati Bengals, absence of Joe Mixon. While he never got much of the shine in Cincy, the Bengals are going to have a big adjustment with the departure of running back Joe Mixon. He did a lot both on the ground and in the passing game to take the pressure off of Joe Burrow, and they haven't made any moves yet to put a suitable replacement in the Bengals' backfield. Cleveland Browns. Deshaun Watson is washed up. Okay, come on, everybody, let's face it. Deshaun is a shadow of himself at this point. He can barely stay healthy, and even if he can, it is none too impressive. The Browns just have no shot at the Lombardi Trophy so long as he is on the roster. Dallas Cowboys, salary cap woes. Hey, credit to Dallas for going all in a couple of times at this point. But yeah, net result has been no Super Bowls and a mess in the salary cap department. With the way that the Cowboys books look at this point and the big names that they're trying to secure to long-term deals, it is going to be impossible for them to add the complementary pieces that are oh so vital to any good Super Bowl run. Denver Broncos, Sean Payton is overrated. Sean Payton is often put on the short list of top coaches in the NFL because of the Super Bowl that he won with Drew Brees and the Saints. But that is nothing more than smoke and mirrors at this point. He is already proving to have a hard time replicating that kind of success in the Mile High City. And ultimately, it just seems extremely unlikely that he's going to be able to get the job done. Detroit Lions, holes in the defense. It is slightly counterintuitive considering the hard-nosed attitude that Dan Campbell has brought to the Detroit Lions, but this team's defense is just not up to par. They need a complete overhaul if they want a real chance at a Super Bowl. Green Bay Packers, Matt LaFleur can't coach in the playoffs. Look, he did a nice job pulling off the upset of his predecessor in Green Bay, Mike McCarthy, in the Dallas Cowboys last season. But LaFleur has routinely struggled to manage the flow of the game come playoff time. The Packers are not serious contenders with him as the head coach. Houston Texans, Stephon Diggs kills the chemistry. The Stephon Diggs acquisition makes sense from a personnel standpoint. But if I'm a Texans fan, man, am I concerned about bringing him onto such a young roster. The last thing that Houston needs is for the other talented wideouts to catch diva-itis from Diggs, or for him to tank CJ Stroud's confidence, like he's done to his other quarterbacks at every single stop of his career. Indianapolis Colts, Anthony Richardson gets injured. I am not confident that the Colts are exactly Super Bowl ready with Anthony Richardson as their starter, but I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt that if he goes down mid-season with another injury, which, based on his play style, unfortunately seems like a far-gone conclusion, that they will 100% not be competing for a Super Bowl. Jacksonville Jaguars defensive line can't get after the passer. The Jaguars have officially put their eggs in the Trevor Lawrence basket despite a topsy-turvy start to the former first overall pick's career. They'd be wise to start bolstering their defensive line if they want to put him in a position to succeed, though. Jacksonville projects to struggle to get after the passer, which will be critical in taking some of the pressure off the inconsistent young QB. Kansas City Chiefs? It is really hard to win 3 in a row. Okay, I mean, let's be serious. At this point, it is hard to bet against the Chiefs. But hypothetically, if you were to, how about because it's really hard for a team to win 3 straight Super Bowls? After all, you have to go all the way back to Vince Lombardi's Packers from 1965 to 67. That right there was the last team to win 3 NFL titles in a row. Las Vegas Raiders, Antonio Pierce was all interim hype. I understand why Vegas retained Antonio Pierce after the way that the team took to him during his stretch as the interim head coach last year, but, don't be surprised if his role as the breath of fresh air following Josh McDaniels' departure manages to turn stale in a hurry this year. Los Angeles Chargers, a Harbaugh culture shock. Jim Harbaugh is a great coach, but he does things in a very, particular way. I would not be shocked to see some growing pains out in LA as the team tries to acclimate to, his style. Los Angeles Rams, Stafford injury. If the Rams are going to try and squeeze one more ring out of this group, they're going to need a big year from Matt Stafford, who, unfortunately, has not done a great job of staying healthy the last couple of years. Smart Money says an injury to the veteran QB spells doom for their Super Bowl ambitions. Miami Dolphins, Tyreek Hill's contract. Miami had to roll the dice on a guy like Tyreek Hill when the opportunity presented itself, but his massive contract has made it really hard to build out the rest of their roster, especially in the trenches, which is vital to a Super Bowl run. Minnesota Vikings, month straight without a home game. Some teams have shown a tendency over the years to have a fairly dramatic home versus away split. And unfortunately for the Vikings, who will be working a new quarterback into their system this season, they have a full month straight without a home game. A stretch like that will all but put the nail in the coffin for Minnesota's Super Bowl aspirations. New England Patriots, rookie head coach in a rebuild. Jared Mayo has his work cut out for him this year in New England. The Pats are very much an organization in flux, and it'll be a tall task for a rookie head coach to steer that ship towards a championship. New Orleans Saints, Derek Carr can't beat good teams. Derek Carr is the quintessential good, not great quarterback. And with a guy like that, the rest of your roster needs to be downright perfect if you want to reach and win a Super Bowl. Sorry to say to the folks in the Big Easy, but the Saints are not that. New York Giants, no quarterback. Brian Dable earned his stripes last season by salvaging the last few games of a lost year and proving that he had not lost the locker room. But they're still in big trouble heading into this year. New York has no legitimate answer at quarterback, and that's pretty darn important if you want to win a Super Bowl. New York Jets, Aaron Rodgers drama. Who knows? It might be an injury, or it might be a vice presidential campaign. Whatever. In any case, one thing is clear is that the future Hall of Famer will find a way to derail the Jets season, and it'll have nothing to do with how he's actually performing on the field. Philadelphia Eagles, defensive secondary. As we saw down the stretch of the 2023 season, the Eagles' defense was a huge problem for the team, and the secondary was at the heart of that situation. They have made a couple of nice moves this offseason, but nothing that warrants a vote of confidence when it comes to being a Super Bowl champion at the end of the year. Pittsburgh Steelers, Russell Wilson is a cancer. I can see the logic around why the Steelers decided to roll the dice on a former Super Bowl winning quarterback like Russell Wilson, because in principle, it makes sense. After all, there are only so many guys that are capable capable of winning a ring, and they rarely come available. But come on, let's face it, Wilson was available for a reason. He has looked absolutely washed up over the last few seasons, not just with the Denver, but also dating back to the end of his time in Seattle. And to make matters even worse, he is a complete locker room cancer, which will likely not bode well in the Steel City, considering they brought in Justin Fields to contend for the starting job as well. San Francisco 49ers, Kyle Shanahan chokes. Kyle Shanahan has proven to be one of the top coaches and offensive minds in the game during his NFL career. But along with that, also comes the intense choke artist allegations, which quite frankly are hard to deny at this point. Between the 28-3 blowout lead as an OC with Atlanta and the multiple Super Bowl losses he's engineered with the 49ers, we are officially in prove-it territory when it comes to Shanahan and getting over the hump to win a Lombardi trophy. The Seattle Seahawks? Geno Smith is a fringe starter. The Geno Smith story is nice, yes, but as impressive as he looked in small bursts, he is, at the end of the day, still Geno Smith. A Super Bowl in Seattle would sure be a nice bow on top of his NFL saga, but no one in their right mind actually thinks that's in the cards. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, weak offensive line. The Baker Mayfield resurgence was exciting to watch last year, but Tampa Bay will need to do a much better job of protecting him, as well as opening up running lanes for their backfield if they actually want to be legit Super Bowl contenders. Tennessee Titans, missing Mike Vrabel. While 2023/2024 may not have gone particularly well for Mike Vrabel and the Titans, it was still a surprise to see the team part ways with him this past offseason. In the time since, there has been continued speculation that Vrabel brought a lot of stability to Tennessee's organization. And folks in and around the league seem pretty confident that we're going to see a lot of the issues that he covered up rear their ugly heads in year one post-Vrabel. Washington Commanders. Jaden Daniels needs experience. Remember what we said about the Chicago Bears and Caleb Williams? Yeah, same sort of thing applies here for the Commanders and Jaden Daniels. And to make matters even worse, well, Washington's roster has far more holes in it than Chicago's. Consider any money wagered on a Commanders Super Bowl win a donation. But hey, what do you think is the real reason that your favorite NFL team won't win the Super Bowl in 2025? What do you think we got right? What do you think we got wrong? Let us know in the comment section below. If you like this video and learned a thing or two, clicking the like button helps out a ton. And hey, we appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, well, subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching and we'll see you guys next time.